Recruiter here, the headless headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search by reviewing your resume. The resume we have up first is a cybersecurity intern. So what we're going to be looking for in an intern, honestly, almost every single intern is what's above. So the degree, a basic knowledge of your industry. In this case, it's going to be networking, operating, cybersecurity concepts. The ability to work well with others, takes direction and criticism, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, and Visio. If it is a master's, you will probably want a little bit more technical stuff, mainly because master's and PhD interns are sometimes, but not always, more technical than bachelor's level. So let's see if I can find it in 20 seconds, these basic concepts, and go. All right, good degree. Okay, what practices? Okay, Python. Okay, security firewalls. All right. I don't care about 40%. I don't care about 40%. Nothing about 40%. VPN I might care about. And CompTIA is down there. All right. Yeah, this would be a rejection. So I want to be clear. If you're an intern, you need 1,000% to put ability to work well with others and how you take direction and criticism. You have to show that in your resume or I probably cannot move forward with you. Also, for cybersecurity interns, they want MS Office, PowerPoint, and Visio. I don't know why they want that, but specifically for cyber, they did. But I don't see anything about how you worked well with others. I don't see how you took direction and criticism. And that is one of the biggest reasons that a lot of interns get rejected. There is a myth, I would say, that if you are in STEM, you can be a jerk or you can be the best person ever and nothing else matters as long as you're good at your job. And that's actually not the case. There are plenty of people that are highly talented, but nobody wants to work with them because they're mean. And showing that you can take direction and criticism and ability to work well with others for an intern when you have not had any other actual, like, real world experience potentially is going to show that. In addition, I don't think I actually had enough of the basic stuff here too, because you filled this entirely with like 25% and 40% and 40% and 30 reduction. Stop doing that. Unless you're in sales or a manager, you don't want percentages. I don't know why that is a prevailing myth right now that you need to put in these percentages. It's because people think it's impact. That is not impact. That is random number go, and we don't want to see random number go. So let me review what this person said to me. Maybe that will change my opinion, but I would not move forward with this resume as is. They are looking for an internship in cyber as an international student, which as an intern probably does not impact your chances that much. He said, no luck, even an interview. Yep, that makes sense. This is not a good resume. I submitted, let's see, so, I am also more include to Ward's company that can sponsor, what? I'm not sure what you wrote there. That was a typo. I am currently in the second semester of master's and am looking for a summer 2026 internship. So, here's part of your problem. You wrote this for an audience that is not reviewing this, right? I need you to simplify this. When I'm looking for a cybersecurity person just in general, and it's also safe to say I have not done many cybersecurity roles. This is a part of IT and tech that I have not actually touched that much. But for a full-time cyber, we would want some of this stuff, right? Obviously, you would not need all of it, but you would need like firewalls and CISSP and Python and PowerShell and SOC and WAN and Active Directories and Windows and Linux and explaining complex topics to non-technical stakeholders. But I still don't see any of that either. Like this is a good sentence, almost. You said collaborated with cross-functional teams to implement firewall policies, VPN, and SIEM solutions. That actually is mostly good. Reducing false positives in threat detection. That's good by 35%. Don't care about that. Stop putting percentages. And reinforcing enterprise-wide defense. So my actual problem here, besides the percentage, which is garbage and you should not have it, is the fact that collaborated is not a good word to use. I personally don't like the word leveraged, but at least leveraged can mean used. Collaborated is so broad as to be useless on your resume, and I will say that you should probably never use the word collaborated. What does collaborated mean? Well, it could mean that you worked side by side with the engineers day in and day out, fixing stuff, and you took direction from them, or it could be that you brought them coffee one day. And unfortunately, you have to assume that I'm going to think the worst. So collaborated is bad. In addition, Python, like this is okay, but I think your best sentence is all the way down here. So your problem is you don't show how you could work well with others. I want to be clear. Your bullet points are also not great. They could be way, way better, right? With more things that I'm actually looking for and less things that I am not, like this. You need to be very picky. Your resume needs the most of what I want with the reduction of the things that I don't want. And I don't want these percentages. I don't want this percentage. I don't know what this is. I know what VLAN is, but I don't know what this is or why I need this. Why do I need an 80.2 IQ trunks? You wrote this for an audience that will not understand it. I need you to think of us as idiots. And if the problem is you wrote this resume as if we were your peers, and we are not. It's entirely possible that the person hiring you, not just the recruiter, but the hiring manager themselves, is so non-technical that they don't know this. Or they are technical, but they're not looking for this specifically, and you're basically harming your chances. So I need you to focus up on what you actually need in these job descriptions, because I was looking at them, and it's this. This is it. You overthought all of this, and the more you overthink your resume, the worse it is. Don't put the resume on a pedestal. It is not your life story. It is simply a government document that shows a snapshot of what you did that is relevant to the type of role that you are applying to. So that's all I can do for this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need more help, you can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlesshunter, where I can give you more help like interview tips every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. I just said that. I'm very tired right now. My CPAP was not working last night, and I am exhausted. Next, resume. This is a resume of a chief of staff. So what we're looking for in a chief of staff is degree, HR, type of industry, company, so it's like major corp, startup, nonprofit, biotech. Also, if you hear stuff in the background, that is my dog loudly chewing a toy that I cannot get him to stop. So basically the type of industry and company you are in, influencing and supporting C-level and stakeholders, that is critical. Data-driven decisions, Asana, Notion, Slack, Google Workspace, Microsoft Office, Sales, and ATS. You don't have to have all of those, but I like some of those. And managing cross-functional initiatives, like how did you do it and the impact. So as this is a high-level role, as this is a manager-ish role or director-ish role, you will need some numbers. So can I find this in 20 seconds? Let's find out. Ooh, that worked perfectly. All right. Can't use anything here. All right. This means nothing. Hands-on supporting with the operations from what is it? What? Representative of the presidency engineer queries. I don't care about queries. Pinpoint and address the queries processing decision makers. How did you do that? Present the chief executive with detailed company operation analysis. Okay, yeah, this is a definite rejection. This has almost no detail. When you're making a high-level resume like a chief of staff, you need more detail. I need to know how you did stuff and the reason and result of you did it. So much more. Sometimes software engineers and people that are in like STEM can sometimes get away with not saying the how, but as a chief or HR director, you 1,000% need the how. So this is a definite reject. What did this person say? It says they get a 1 in 50, which is not good for this level because of the amount of jobs. There are just not that many chief of staff jobs, so your ratio will unfortunately have to be lower than that. And the ratio is how good you can tell a resume is. Anything below 1 in 50 is normally good, but with the amount of these roles available, a 1 in 50 is not good. So I've also submitted applications for human resource positions with another version of this resume and project management roles. Well, yeah, there's like nothing in this. However, I have not had a single interview since last August. Okay, so it's not just 1 in 50, it's worse. I'm having a hard time deciding on how to proceed. I wanted to submit another resume I was using that just goes to the relevant experience, but could not attach to. That is true. So, this is a bad resume. Right? This is hard to read. The formatting is off. And the reason the formatting is there is we can get farther along in the amount of time we have. So, this is how I need your resume to look. I will say, as a director, this is not the most perfect formatting you can use, but it is better than this. So directors may want a slightly different formatting than this, but it's still, compared to this is the best you can get. So, first off, delete this. All right? Second off, I need you to remove the corporatization of your language. So in this, you are speaking a lot of things about initiatives from genesis to fruition to operational analysis while evaluating risk factors. But that's not what I'm looking for. And that is too corporate. I need you to start writing like this for Chief of Staff. Now, if you're looking for HR, that's different. That's a different role entirely. Same with project manager. Those are 3 separate resumes you need. But I need you to simplify this, right? I need you to write this as if you were writing this to a C-level executive without the flowery language. I need to say led strategic, here's the thing. This is a nonsense sentence, right? Led strategic decision making to minute operational actions with a comprehensive vision, always detail oriented to ensure decisions could be made with certainty. What does that mean? I don't actually know what you said in that sentence. It sounds like it's meant to confuse me into thinking you said something, but it's not. What I would like to see is just like directed HR operations for over 4,000 employees in our biotech firm, along with being in charge of hiring initiatives and ATS implementation, right? Like that is something I would like to see. That is a good sentence. And then this one is like represented and active on behalf of the president and CEO to answer inquiries. What inquiries? Why? I want you to say spoke with the CEO and president's voice by answering inquiries from other stakeholders within the company or cross-functional stakeholders within the company, such as directors of IT, HR, and potato farming, to save them time or something, right? Like, I need you to simplify this because you have said all of these words and I don't know a single thing you did. I literally have no idea what you did. I still don't. So, this is not as bad. No one's going to get this far down, though. Is led and directed a 2-person HR team supporting 220 employees with global operations to include oversight of organizational development, recruitment, retention, benefits, HR, performance. This is... You need to shrink it and, probably stop it here. But otherwise, this is a much better sentence. This is how I need you to write everything else. This, you got the right idea for. This is garbage. This is really good. It should be 3 lines max, but this is really good. This is also good. Developed and authorized implemented policies, procedures, including training all HR and director staff on recruiting, hiring, onboarding, performance reviews, and then probably not this part, but then add this in. So you had it lower on. The problem is, again, you got way too technical. And technical doesn't just mean tech. It means speaking beyond the person's understanding of what it is. So I hope that was at least helpful, but you need to write this like you wrote this and this and this. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a sales engineer. The problem with this is there were some bad job descriptions for this. I was not able to find any of them that were the same. So I'm not sure if it's broken up into a specific industry or there's a specific section of it that's all different, but I was actually struggling to find the same part, the job descriptions that had the same things. Some of them wanted CISP, some of them wanted AWS, some of them wanted networking, some of them wanted firewalls. So you may need to break this down to something a little bit different. But let me at least read what you said. Is I'm a U.S. citizen who returned to the U.S. at the end of the last year. Took some time off and looking for a job. Okay, so first off, your resume is what? Okay, is this all at this? Okay, all right. I can at least help you out because your formatting is hurting your chances. So first off, I don't need all of this. All I need is this part. Right? Recently returned to Chicago after 12 years spent in London, UK. What you should have is delete all of this and just keep this. And you don't need to say profile, right? It'll be just between these two. So in between here, you will just say return to the US after living in the UK, right? Return to the Chicago after living in the UK for 12 years or whatever. Then here, this is confusing, right? I would just put lead solutions engineer / CSE, right? And then have those two be your titles because this is confusing the way it's written. I really would just like this to be written on one line. I do know why you did it, but it's very confusing. So you definitely need to fix that. So then we go down to the bullet points, and here's part of the problem is I don't know if this is I don't know the exact qualifications, but upon reading this, besides RESTful APIs and LTI standards, based on the aggregate that I was finding, which could be incorrect, I don't think you've got the right ones because you're focusing on like implementation times and escalations and resolution times and partners and 30% of partner adoption when it looked like it was really more like what industry you were in. How did you sell stuff? How did you have success with sales? The problem is this is not understandable to a layman. Again, even though you're not like necessarily creating like back-end infrastructures or whatever, it still needs to be understandable to a layman. You need to imagine that the person reading your resume is a kindergarten class that is doing a career day. And if you said to a kindergarten class, I'm a lead solutions engineer, okay, they'd be like, what's that? And you'd be like, I designed and implemented 135 partner integrations via REST APIs, LTI standards, and platform workflow, accelerating onboarding by 30% and improving partner adoption. They'd be like, what? What do you do? And you would have to re-say that. So while this part I think is what they're looking for, the rest of it is just so broad, and it assumes that the person does know the industry. And even if the person does know the industry, they have 15 seconds. It's entirely possible they will miss the actual qualifications, which is what we're looking for over these percentages. So stop using those percentages. The only person that could get away with it was the previous resume, but that was because they were director. And even then, they still didn't do it right. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of, I actually don't know. This person just said marketing. The problem is you could be a content marketing manager. You could be a product marketing manager. You could be a product marketer. There's a lot of different roles in marketing, and I don't know which specific ones. So I guessed that this is a content marketing manager because that's sort of like the broadest, easiest one to guess. I have no idea if that's right or not. Again, you need to tell me very specifically. So, can I find what I need in 20 seconds? Also, this person docs themselves, so I cannot scroll past this. What we need is industry specific. So again, like sports media or politics, or those are the only two. I'm sure there's more, but I can't. A game and celebrity, whatever, that kind of stuff. B2B, B2C, SEO, content strategies across multiple formats, blogs, white papers, case studies, emails, cross-functional WordPress, how your marketing succeeded, brand voice, Canva, Figma, social media scheduling and analytics tools, and MailChimp, HubSpot, and Marketo. So again, please make sure your information is removed from the resume. Do not have your phone number and email and first name and LinkedIn up at top like this person did. I cannot remove it. I do this live. So let's see if I can find it. All right. I cannot use literally anything here. Okay. Coffee shop. What do you mean? Oh, branches. Double. It's not bad, but what else? It's not terrible. I have found some of this. Okay, and that is it. I did not find enough to move you forward. I found like a couple of stuff. Like I found what you did, which was coffee shop, which is fine. But let's see what you wrote me. I am confused and I want to know what section I should target my position. What do you? Okay, so first off, I am a U.S. based recruiter. I don't know other industries outside the U.S. as well. I do know Canada and the U.K. are slightly similar, but I don't know what the industry looks like in Oman. I actually don't even know where that is. So this may not translate over to there. Unless you're trying to use this to apply to a U.S. role, in which case, if you do not have work experience, the resume doesn't matter. So here's where I kind of liked, right? Launched an expansion of a culturally authentic coffee shop brand. That's actually a really good start. Growing from 2 to 4 branches within the first year, doubling initial growth ones. Actually, here's the thing. What do you mean by marketing? Because, like, what part of this were you in charge of? And this is where I'm a little confused, because if you're doing marketing, you're not spearheading the entire expansion. You're doing the marketing of it. Unless you're saying you did all of it through marketing, I'm a little confused. And again, you're managing a team of 20 with an operational ecosystem, but that's not marketing. That's management. I don't know what role you're looking for, but it's not marketing. You need to be very specific with the role title, because what would this even be? Like maybe manager or director or co-owner, right? Like you're co-owner, but I'm not looking for a co-owner of a coffee shop. I'm looking for somebody that can use WordPress. So I don't know if there's a language difference, which again, I know I apologize, but I wish I knew more languages. Unfortunately, I only know English. That's why I really respect people that can speak multiple languages, because on a good day, I can't even speak the one language I grew up with. So I really am impressed when people have multiple languages. But I am also a little confused, and I think you may need to resubmit, because I'm not sure what you're asking me. And if you're not clear in what you're asking for me, I cannot help you. But this is not a marketing resume. This is... I'm actually not fully sure, but it's definitely not a marketing one. So that's all I could do for this one. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data scientist. Their ratio is unknown. They did not tell me. Or maybe they did in their note, but I like to try to review the resume before reading the note, because I think it gives a better indication of what it would actually be like if this came across my desk. So let's find out. 20 seconds. What do we have to do? We have to find degree, Python, R, SQL, data in all its forms, modeling, analytics, etc. Industry, healthcare, SDLC, explain stuff to non-technical folk, influence stakeholders, cross-functional, cloud, AWS, GCP, Azure, Microsoft Office applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Google Sheets, AI, LLM, ML, NLP, Spark, skibidi-learn, pandas, NumPy, dashboards, data visualization. I feel like I've said that before. And like Tableau, Power BI, and ETL. So, can I find it? Let's go. All right. Okay, good. Pandas, NumPy. Okay, good. Boo, numbers. Looker dashboards. I can't count that. That's so close to being counted. SQL, okay. Good formatting, at least. Nothing here. Oh, there it is, Tableau. Okay. So, this would definitely be a yeet, just because I did not find enough. Right? It's formatted is fine. It's just I was not able to find enough. So when I saw Looker, the reason I did not count this is going to be probably upsetting to a lot of you. And there's a lot of comments that were like, "How could you do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but you have to do this as a recruiter, or you can get fired." Is you said real life? Let's see, where did it go? It was here, right here. Looker dashboards. The problem is, you know what? I'm actually going to take this back. That was fine. They really do want more so than dashboards. They kind of want data visualization dashboards. And I need to be a little more clear about that. And the problem is this just a regular dashboard? I don't know. I have seen Looker once or twice in there, so I think as a qualification, Looker is fine. But besides Looker and dashboards and SQL and Python, I did not have enough. And again, that's like 20% of it. It's only like 20% or 30% of what I need. I need to see how you explain complex topics to non-technical folk. I need to know what industry you're in. I need to know how you did all this other stuff with data. And yeah, it may not be fair or just, but unfortunately, hiring is, there's a reason there's a lot of laws for it, is because it's not always great, right? You need to be able to work with what is, not what could be, is what I should have said. That's a better way of saying what I should have said. All right, so they said, during my internship, my application ratio was 500 every 4 interviews. That makes sense. I'm an international student. I have applied after reviewing my resume to this one. Okay, so formatting is fine, but the problem is your bullet points. Like, again, if we cancel out everything I found, right? Good. Python, perfect. Degree, good. SQL. I'm going to count data visualization just in case, right? Maybe that's fine. And then you have NumPy and this. The rest of that I still need. Especially as an international student, you are in an uphill battle. I hate to say it, but international students, it's going to take you close to 5 times as many applications to get the same ratio. In internships, it's not a problem, but once you're trying to get your OPT, or even having help you the H-1B, it's a logistical nightmare, especially with how they just changed the rules on that. So you are going to need basically all of these. And I did not see that, right? Like, where is the cloud? Where is the modeling or the analytics? Where is teaching people that don't understand what you do? So, also, I just saw this. You did the data science intern down here and a data analyst. You may not even want to keep this. This might actually be why it's a problem, is because they're looking at this first when what they actually need is down here. Which, no, you still basically have nothing down here except for PyTorch, which is good, and Tableau, and Skibbity Learn. So, yeah, you need more qualifications. You just do not show that you're qualified. So, that's all I can do for this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out. And if you ever need more help, join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter, and I will see you in the next video to help you get ahead of your job search.